everyone. Today I will be doing my application presentation number 2 on Module 12, which is going over the chapter of the social judgment theory, specifically going into depth about pluralistic ignorance. So, ignorance can be defined as a situation in which the majority of group members reject the norm, but incorrectly assume that the majority of them have accepted it. So therefore, they just go along with it since it's like everybody's thinking the same thing. Another way they describe this as is like no one believes, but everyone thinks that everyone else believes. So like us as kids, we could easily like think about this as like peer pressure in a way, kind of like just already assuming since everybody does it, like they think it's a norm. So the way I could really relate this to my life is like, as growing up in a Hispanic family, I have very strict parents. So as a kid and like a young teenager, I would never go out with my friends or do anything. So back when I was in high school, like with my little friend group, I was always at home while my friends were going out to the movies or hanging out with friends or even just with going to the mall shopping. Either I wasn't allowed to go or I had to be chaperoned by my parents, which was never fun. So I would just like to stay at home. Around this time is like when everybody else started going through having the boyfriend phase. So a lot of the times I would try to talk on the phone with my friends, but they would be really short and like, oh, I can't, I'm busy. But they didn't really explain. So I guess as a kid, I overthought the situation that like, oh, they don't want to be my friend anymore. Like, what's going on? What did I do wrong? And I just completely like assumed the worst, when in reality it was because my parents didn't allow me to have a boyfriend at the time. So the way my friends explained it to me was because since I didn't have a boyfriend around the time they didn't want to talk to me about the situations that they were going through, because one, they didn't think that I knew how to help them since I've never had a boyfriend at this point in my life. And two is because they didn't want to make me feel bad because I didn't have a boyfriend. So I guess in a way they were doing the right thing by not trying to rub it in my face. But at the same time, I was like completely overthinking, thinking, oh no, like why isn't she talking to me as much as we used to? Why the sudden change? But I guess now thinking back, I just assumed the worst instead of coming forward and asking them like what was wrong or what I did wrong. But that wasn't the case, and I just made up a different scenario in my head. Another way I could relate this to my life was, I guess, in my professional setting. Before I got promoted, I would try to go above and beyond, not only doing the bare minimum of what is expected of me, but doing more. And at the time, I didn't realize that I was doing a lot of like sales leads and manager lead positions, well, requirements for those positions, and I would do the majority of the work myself as an associate. So I felt like I needed to be more in it and work a lot more hours in order to get to that point in that promotion. And I was just like picking up shifts and trying to do work the bare minimum that the managers were, when that wasn't the case. It was just based on their availability. I was overworking myself, and later on my manager talked to me about it, and they knew that I had a great work ethic, and they wanted to reward me for that. And I explained it that I don't think I would be able to keep up with what's expected of me. And they're like, oh, they would always talk me down and say, you're doing more than what is expected and you're doing a really great job. So looking back, I guess I could say I overthink way too much in different situations. I think it's important to know the differences in certain contexts, because most of the time, whatever situation I get put in, I overthink. And I guess instead of asking for clarification, I just assume the worst and create different scenarios in my head by assuming. So I guess in a way I need to work on that.